We are now on ordering under the budget. If you have not had your price sheet or your price list checked by the teacher, you need to do that before you get started on this. So your price list needs to be checked because if it's incorrect, then these problems you're going to get incorrect as well. Each week, the restaurant manager takes an inventory of the items that remain in the kitchen and they will purchase for the following week. In general, they purchase the food from a provider that sells in bulk. Use the price list to help the restaurant manager make their purchasing decisions. Round all numbers to the nearest hundredth. Pay attention to that, hundredth. All right, let's go ahead and look at the first problem. The manager of Munchburger needs to order 60 pounds of ground beef, 40 pounds of Angus ground beef, 10 pounds of cheddar cheese, 6 cans of ketchup, six 10-pack cans of ketchup, 24 heads of lettuce, and 20 pounds tomatoes. How much will this entire order cost? So all we're doing right here is you're going to fill in with the item. So we're going to look at the first thing. The first thing he said that they need is ground beef. So in this little box here, I'm going to write ground beef. I know for the amount that we need 60 pounds. It tells me in the question. Now the unit cost, this is where I need my price list. I'm going to go back and check on my price list and see what the unit cost for ground beef is. And if I look for ground beef, it says my unit price, not the bulk cost, the unit cost. The unit cost is $1.56. So I'm going to write that here. Now I need to find out how much this is going to cost me total. So over here, I'm going to work it out. So I know I need 60 pounds, and I know it costs me $1.56 a pound. And I need to multiply these out. Now, like I said, I prefer to flip it the other way. It just makes it easier for me to see. You can do it that way. So I know 0 goes through and it's 0. I'm going to just go ahead and put my placeholder for my second line. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 3 is 33. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And I have to count my decimal places. There's 2 here, and there's 0 here. So I go 1, 2. And so my total price is $93.60. I'm going to do that with each of these ingredients. After I've done that with each of these ingredients, I will add the entire order cost together. You may need a separate sheet of paper because I know I write too big to get all this on there. And then you'll add it all together to find out the entire order cost. Mr. Smiley must order 400 pounds of apples, 800 pounds of bananas, 600 pounds blueberries, 600 pints of strawberries, 1,200 ounces of cucumbers, 500 pounds of salt, 320 ounces of pepper. What will be the cost of the entire order? This is the same exact thing, except they didn't give you a table to work with. So you can just work it out however you choose. Panini World. Panini World must order 200 pounds of flour, 300 pounds of baking powder, 26 pounds of butter, 120 pounds of celery, yuck, 200 pounds of spinach, 500 pounds of turkey breast, 600 pounds of ham, and some amount of salmon. Looky there, some amount. It does not tell you how much. Panini World has a purchasing budget of $4,000 for this order. How many pounds of salmon can they afford? So we're going to think about, what do we know? Well, we know how much they're going to order of each ingredient except for the salmon. And we know that they only have $4,000 to do it. So we're going to figure out how much the flour, baking powder, butter, celery, spinach, turkey breast, and ham total out to be. Then we're going to subtract that from the 4,000 and see how much that leaves us. And that way we can kind of figure out how much salmon they can afford. I want you to do your best. This is actually requiring a lot of work on your part. Do your best to figure out how much salmon they can purchase. Classy Elliott's, the head chef of Classy Elliott's, has recommended the items that need to be purchased. She needs 40 pounds of fettuccine, 20 pounds of penne, 30 pounds of lasagna, 500 pounds of chicken breast, and 200 pounds of crab meat. The chef would also like 100 pounds of carrots. What is the difference? Now remember that word difference, that means subtraction. It's the answer to a subtraction problem. In the total cost if they buy baby carrots versus uncut carrots. Is it worth it to cut their own baby carrots? So you're going to have to determine the difference in the cost between baby carrots and uncut carrots. And if it's going to just be more cost effective for them to just cut their own carrots into baby carrots. Next, we have Vegan Paradise. The cooks at Vegan Paradise need to place an order, but are not sure how many pounds of each item they can fit into their budget, which is $800. They need everything on the list, and they need to use as much of the money as possible. Help the cooks decide how many pounds of each item they will ask for. This answer is going to vary from person to person. You're going to have basically a trial and error. You're going to have to figure out, well, maybe I want to do 20 pounds of almonds and 15 pounds of broccoli crowns and 30 pounds of oranges. And you're going to try and figure up how much you'll spend. Now, if you do all this and you end up with a total price of $600, you need to change some things, add some more, use the money to your advantage. Now, if you start purchasing and add up and you realize you've spent $1,000, you need to cut back. Angelic Deliciousness. The head chef of Angelic Deliciousness has a big event coming soon. They have determined that they need certain items but must stand under their stay under their budget of $20,000. They need everything on the list and plan to use the entire budget. Help the head chef decide how many pounds of each item they will order. This is the same thing, but a much larger budget. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. The only way it can be wrong is if you spend over your budget or you spend way less than your budget. But just do your best.